Hi everybody, it's crazy, it's Monday, and it's time for the UPBGE video of the week. Now, before I get started, gotta give a shout out to my trusted, because you guys rock. To my crazy fam, I love you guys. We are up to episode number 76, and we left off last week on page number 13, which is material data block linked to the mesh. Now, last week, if you remember, we changed Susie's eyes from green to blue. Okay, and that's just using material colors. Okay, we got the standard color, and then we got different colors. Okay, so this one right here, if we shift D'd it, it would be the same. If we alt D'd it, we can change it without it not affecting the other meshes. Okay, so that's where we left off last week, so let's get started. Let me switch over here so you can see this table. Oops. There we go. Okay. You get single object single and object duplicated. Okay, so if you've got an object, okay, it's got object data and it's got a material. Okay, duplicated objects share the same object, but they don't usually share the same, or they keep the same material and object data, but the object itself gets changed. I'm sorry, I had to correct that. Okay, so that's what they're talking about. Okay, material data block linked to the object. Okay, so this is linked to the mesh. Okay, the material data block linked to the object, which is the single object single. In other words, single object. Okay, you have object data, and material. Now notice that the material is connected to the object and not to the object data. Okay. Object duplicated, both the material and the object get duplicated for each one, but the object data stays the same. Okay, so preview. The preview panel, okay, and I'm going to switch over here so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, let's see. I guess the preview panel, oh yeah, the preview panel, which is this one right here, shows you what the object would look like when the material is applied to it. Okay, so the preview panel shows how the selected material would look if rendered. Because of the generic models and a single light source, the accuracy of the preview is limited if the material relies on a complex lighting setup. You can usually get more accurate preview directly from the 3D viewport. Okay, this is just basically going to give you a basic view of it. Okay, it's going to say, okay, well, it's going to be blue, it's got this much of specularity on it, yada yada yada. So basically it's going to give you all these right here, how much hardness it has, yada yada. So if you take the intensity down, you'll notice that it'll look like a ball, like a one of them rubber balls. Okay, this one makes it look more like a marble. Okay, but it gives you just a basic reference. So if you're looking at the blue here, and as I mess with the specularity with the white, it might look a little bit different. And if you notice, there's a little bit more of a purple haze instead of a white haze. Okay, that's what they're talking about. This preview is just to give you a look at it, to show you that, okay, it's not green anymore, it's now blue. Okay, so that way you know. If you change the color here, it'll let you know. And as you see, the background changes the same color because it's the same kind, okay? But in the preview, it will change to whatever color, okay? And so I'm going to put it back to blue because I thought the blue was cool. There we go. All right, so that just gives you a basic preview. You notice that there's not just a point of light shining right here on this flat plane, okay? That's what they're talking about. Okay, diffuse, that's your color, this color right here. Okay, is the soft, matte, reflected component of the surface. Okay, so this diffuse setting shows you how much matte it is. If you have it all the way down, it's black. If you have it all the way up, it's like a shiny bright marble. Okay, most people, you know, they dance between it because they don't want it perfectly blue. They don't want it bright neon blue. They want it kind of like a navy blue or a deep blue or midnight blue. You know, if you ever play card games where you can mess with the colors of the cars and you add different things to it, it's kind of what that does. Okay, compared to specular highlights below, diffuse light is not viewing angle dependent. Okay, so this is viewing angle dependent, the specularity. Okay, because hey, look, you know, wherever you're at, it's what it's going to show. If you have too much specularity, it looks like it, like you know, a sunbeam shine through a magnifying glass. You know, here it makes it look like it's matte. So some people mess with those. Using the color selector, you can change the diffuse color of the material by just simply clicking in this. You can do it with the specularity too. You can give it a kind of a yellowish hue. So that way when you look up here, okay, and you have this fully done, it looks more yellow instead of white. Because most of the time it's just set to white, which is all of these up, okay? Most of the time it's like bright white, okay? Now watch. Let's see, we put like a pink hue in there. Notice that now that is now pink. Yellow is a hard one to do because you got to get the yellow just right, which would be, you know, half and half of two different kinds. It'd be like that, would be perfect yellow. As you see, that is yellow. Okay, so with that being said, let's continue on. The intensity slider controls how much diffuse light is reflected off the surface. In other words, how bright a surface is when it is exposed to light. So if you take this intensity all the way down, you're not shining a lot of light on it. You know, if you bring it all the way up, it's reflecting all the light, okay? Or absorbing, you know, if you have it on black, it absorbs all light. You know, black, you know, is the hotter color, you know, it doesn't reflect anything. White, it'll tell you to wear white, you know, to reflect the light off of you. You know, if you're wearing black, that's why it's hotter. A little bit of science fact there for you. Use this in conjunction with the color selector to get the surface color you want. So, say you wanted a like deep blue, medium blue, midnight blue, but you don't want it jet black. You get that like nice deep midnight purple or midnight blue. You know, you can actually change the specularity as well to make it even more darker. You know, say if I wanted that to be blue. Okay, let's see. Bring that down, yeah, and we'll bring that up. Okay. So now the specularity is blue, so it looks like a deep blue marble, right? But you can also bring the specularity to the same color, and now it just looks almost like a matte, okay? Okay, so, for example, to create a white material, not only do you need to select a white color in the color palette, in other words here, which you need to select white, okay, which is bringing them all up, okay, that's supposed to be white, but it's not, okay, but you'll also need to crank up the diffuse intensity to 1, okay, that's bright white, see? Now, if you bring it all the way down, oops, sorry, my bad. If you bring it all the way down, it's black. White, black, okay? Brightness, darkness. So, you know, if you want a nice hue of gray, there you go, okay? Otherwise, you'll end up with a medium gray, which you see. Setting the intensity to 0 instantly creates a black surface. Black. No matter what color is set in the color selector. Okay, so I can change it to green, nothing. I can change it to red, nothing. Okay, it's going to be black. Okay, and as you see over here, you know, it shows the difference between a low diffuse value material and a high diffuse value material. Okay, so low is here, high is here, okay? Lambert is the default diffuse shading algorithm. Okay, that's this one right here. That's what they use. So it's defaulted to that. It is suitable for more surfaces. Okay, the Oren Nair, Hey, if y'all figure out what that is, let me know. It better approximates rough surfaces as it provides a more gradual transition from light to dark than Lambert. Thus, Orion Nair is generally softer looking than Lambert. Okay, so if we switch that to that, if you notice that it just became a bit softer. See how bright that is? I got it all the way up. Okay, and you change it to Nair, and it looks more soft. It doesn't look as rough. And even if I change the color to blue, it still looks soft. It doesn't have most of the specularity in there Let me turn this back up so you can see what I'm talking about. See, if you notice, the light doesn't hit it, it hits it in a bigger angle. Okay, let's see, let's put it white. There we go. Now you got the white back. Okay, there we go. Okay, now it still looks more softer than the original. Even if you brought it down some, like we had it, it looks softer. Miniart. Miniart. Say that 5 times fast. Okay, is like a regular Lambert shader, but with additional processing on the edge of the object where the surface normally is parallel to the camera. It can achieve a somewhat velvety look material without the use of a ramp shader. Okay, so if you look at the edges, they look a little bit smoother, more silky. Alright, now the Toon shader, okay, as you see, gives you one or the other, it looks like. Toon shader creates a very distinct banding effect, resulting in a cartoonish look that's suitable for a cell-shaded game. Okay, so if we bring that all the way up to blue, to put it on white, as you see, it's a two-setted deal, as you can see over here. Okay, we can put that, let's take off all that, see what happens. Okay, even if I brought the intensity all the way down, if you look over at Susie here, it looks more cartoonish. Okay, Fresnel, as everybody loves to say. Okay, Fresnel shader uses the incident light angle to achieve an interesting look that can be best described as anisotropic, perfect for those brushed metal objects that reflect lights in bands or radial patterns. Okay, so let's turn this back up to our blue. So you can see it kind of looks more like a metally thing. I've got the intensity all the way down, all the way to black and all the way down. If I bring it back up, let's put this with some white back in there. As you see, you still get the shine on it, but look at this. It looks more metallic than anything. Okay, and I think that was it. Yeah. Now you got Lambert Custom BSDF and Burley BSDF. These are different ones that they added in, or you can actually add in shaders as well. Here it'll pop up. Want to know more about that, then I suggest you look around for it, because I have no idea. I'm not a shader person, really. Okay, so of all the diffuse shading algorithms, Lambert is the simplest in terms of shader complexity. So for performance reasons, it is best to stick with Lambert unless you can truly utilize the additional benefits from the other specialized algorithms. Okay, so a lot of these other ones, really eat up your bandwidth, your performance in your game. So be careful using them, because it can cause problems. And same thing with these, but we'll go into those in just a few minutes. As a different shading algorithm is selected, additional options for that particular mode may appear. Okay, and so you may get more stuff instead of just the ramp and intensity, yada yada yada. If you flip around, you notice that you got roughness on this one now. Okay, if you do tune, you've got size and smooth. Okay, so there's different ones you can, different things. This one's got darkness, so you can bring the darkness down or up. I mean, that gives it kind of a neat type deal. It's either 1 or 0, or 2 or 0. So, pretty interesting. So, I mean, play with them. I mean, it can't hurt to play with it, and you can find out what's, would be best for your game if you're making a game. You can use it to figure out, if you want to go with like a toony type deal or not so toony. There are people that do cartoon characters using Blender that don't even use the tune on this. Okay, they don't use this one. They use the straight Lambert, and they make the colors the way they want it. And I've seen some really awesome ones out there. Okay, rather than trying to explain these extra settings for each shading algorithm, which is futile without talking about the math behind it, we invite you to try them out yourself and see how they affect the outcome. In the end, All that matters is how it looks. So give it a try, play with it, mess with it, tinker around with it, have fun with it. Okay, I'm gonna run a little bit longer today because I feel that I can get past the specular maybe. Yeah. See, no, I'm gonna go ahead and wait on specular. We're gonna go ahead and do specular next week. So we will. Oops. We will go through specular next week, and it would be on page 15, so keep an eye on that. Alright, so we'll end it there. Page 15, specular for next week. Play around with the diffuse. Play around with Lambert, play around with all the other colors that your algorithms that you can play with to figure it out. It's not going to hurt anything for you to explore right now. It would suck you be in the middle of building your game and realize, oh, I've got it on tune, and yeah, it's killing my, my performance. It's not allowing my game to do what it wants. So, you can play around with it and find out, oh, well, you know what? Tune would work better than Lambert because it actually works better for what I have and what my game is going to represent. Okay, so keep that in mind when you're working with materials. I don't work very well with materials. I'm learning this just about the same as y'all are because of the fact that it's really hard to try to, get everything set up and done, and then you come back to it and you go, okay, I'm going to put this blue color on there, and then you add it in with all your other colors, and now it looks like crap. What you want to do is you want to play with the stuff first, and then you can play with it. And I'm learning that. I'm slowly but surely learning that. So, till next week.